What's up?
Key light off, backlight off, set light off. Is that fun? All right, so my last vlog, I showed a lighting setup in my other room, and there was a lot of questions on it, and it seemed like a lot of interest, and people wanted to see more stuff like that. I set up another lighting setup over here just to kind of talk about the basic principle of how I set up lights. So some people have heard of what's called three-point lighting. It consists of a key light, a fill light, or I'm using the ambient light as my fill, and a backlight. So, but the problem is that's just for the subject. I think one of the most important pieces that really ties it all together is the set lighting. That is the background there. So I put a lot of work into the set lighting. The three-point lighting is fairly straightforward. You can still do a lot with it. So let's break this down and look at each one. So the first and probably most important, what I light around, is the key light. And that's this light right here. So you can see it's a China lantern. This one's a 36-inch, and it has two LED daylight balanced bulbs in it. And I use this for a big soft box, and they're really nice because you just put it right there, and no matter where you move around it, it's just still 36 inches because it's a sphere. That's my key light, and what I do is I expose my camera so the flesh tones and everything is exposed properly for that key light. Let me turn everything off here for a second. So that's the key light. So I expose for this image here. It doesn't look bad, but you add a backlight, or what I call an edge light. It just adds a nice edge that allows you to pull your subject away from the background. And then we have the set lighting. So the things that I like to do in a set lighting are, I like to have little specular highlights. So if you don't know what a specular highlight is, that's those little hot spots. Let me see. See that right there? Those little tiny pinpoint hot spots that you get. Actually, I'm going to fix this. There. I like to actually have it where you can see the different lights in the background, the actual light fixture itself. It just makes it a little more interesting. You can see over here I have a little tabletop fixture with a old-timey bulb in it. And then underneath here, it's kind of hard to see, but I have LED strips that illuminate and give kind of a nice fill light on each shelf. I have a top light here pointing down, and it gives a lot of contrast to the stuff below it. And then I have, I don't know if you can see here, there's just a light that helps illuminate the stuff on the shelves. Now let's look at each one of these layers by themselves. So I'm going to turn them all out. So this is my ambient light. This is the light that is naturally in the basement. And if I were to expose for that, I'm just going to pump up the ISO. So that's a little overexposed. That's 1600 and that's 800 right there. So that's natural lighting. So this is how I would look if I just came down here, turned on a light, and set up the camera. Let's put that back to where it was. Ooh. I'm at 200 ISO, which is that's a good place to be. And let's look at just the set lighting. You can see there's just the set. Let's see what it looks like with just the rim light or the edge light. There you go. So that's the fill light and the backlight. So then once we turn our key back on, the background, we have all of our lights. So this entire lighting setup is done with very simple, very inexpensive lights. The Chinese lantern is only about $3 or $4 for the piece itself. Then you have to have like a little light bulb holder. I don't know what it's called. It's what you screw the light bulb into. And then a daylight balanced bulb. And actually in these, I use the little bulb splitter, so there's two bulbs in the lantern. Then we have the little spotlights. They're daylight balanced spotlights. That's it. I mean, I really like to try to keep it simple. All right, I just thought I'd do a quick video, show you a kind of a basic lighting setup. Now, even though it's basic, keep in mind, it took me pretty much all day to play with these lights to get the right kind of mixture of lights. I think the key to lighting is really having one, compartmentalizing your different areas. So you have your subject and you have your background, and then if you're working with something, like if you're showing off products or something, you would have possibly a product light and a second camera and all that, and it can get very complex. But if you're just doing vlog type stuff and you're talking to the camera and you want to make it look good, I think the key really is balance. It's to have the key light, the edge light, the background, everything kind of at the right intensity. Quite frankly, there is no right or wrong way to light. It's just whatever looks more appealing. Show me what you do with your lighting setup, because I'm really interested in seeing how other people do their lighting. All right, so that's it. This is a nice short video just to kind of show you some simple lighting techniques. And if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. But most of all, I'm really kind of excited about doing a challenge. So if you see a lighting setup in another video or a photo and you're curious how they're doing it, post it. Let's look at some other lighting setups and let's see if we can reverse engineer it and rebuild it just from the frame. All right, until next time.
Action.
Hey, son. Hey, how you doing? All right, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You know. Nice truck.